I'm Mary Berrill. I'm Inspector of Education working within Education Scotland, and I'm also the Senior Education Officer for Inclusion and Equalities. Well, we've heard a lot today about the care aspect and obviously the neuroscience around children that are looked after. My key message is how important education is in terms of supporting children who are looked after, because it is a mechanism of uncoupling the impact of the trauma and the attachment disorders they have and help to prepare them for a better future. But to do that, schools need to rely on what's working well already, which is about more personalisation, about knowing the child, identifying the needs better, about having key trusting relationships with staff which endure throughout the educational placement. And schools increasingly understand that these constant transitions between care placements can be very destructive for a child. So it's even more important that an educational placement is maintained throughout the child's educational journey. These are all very important and key messages for education. It's very important for head teachers to understand that they are responsible for all children, all individuals in their school. If a child is displaying, as we've heard about behaviour as a form of communication today, inappropriate behaviours and have issues around self-regulation, then it's very important that the school moves to address that. How do they address it? Certainly there's a number of very successful and highly effective interventions and strategies in place now. Today, I'm going to be talking about nurture, and nurturing approaches is one programme that has grown enormously in popularity over the last few years, partly supported by the money that's flowing into many schools from the Scottish Attainment Challenge, which allowed them to build their capacity in terms of their staff awareness. That's also very important. Also, it's very important that schools seek support from the local authority and from other schools. Collaboration and partnership are a very important dynamic in Scottish education now. The concept that schools are having to cope with a range of difficulties and challenges within a child, yet remaining isolated, is now very much an old model, a model that we know is not the most effective. The need to reach out to the wide range of partners that are available to schools, which includes increasingly allied health professionals, mental health counsellors, social workers. They also need to call on the support within their neighbourhood, within other schools. They need to look outward facing to see what's working, to bring in those ideas, to be more research based. These are all trends within schools now, and certainly a school sort of giving up on a child very quickly is something that now we know is truly not acceptable. Stickability. Mm-hmm. It's very important, and we certainly have done a lot of work in terms of the key adult role. And the key adult role came in with the Curriculum for Excellence, and it came in before the named person. And we heard today about the magical Miss Jones, and certainly in all schools. And we all remember from our old childhood teachers that made a difference to us, that believed in us, that nurtured and coached us. And these people we often helped to build our resilience. That has become much more systematic in schools now. But I suppose another key message, and it is a very important message, is that we also have to challenge children, because improvements in attainment is an essential entitlement for children. If we are holding on to children but not allowing them to develop functional literacy skills or to be able to function within a numeracy framework, then have we done them a disservice? We also have to remember that we are not social workers, we are teachers. And we have to ensure that children that are looked after reach and achieve the highest possible qualifications and skills that we can in terms of school. That is the basic right that all children have from their school experience.
They can be the best they can be.
The best they can be. We talk about reaching their full potential. This has also been helped by the flexibility within the system now. For example, in secondary schools at the senior phase, which is from 4th, 5th and 6th year, children now can have a blended approach where they can have some extended work experience, they may get some on-the-job training, as well as the more academic side of the qualifications. That suits the profile of many children, including often children that are looked after. So schools do have, the ability to be more flexible now and to be more creative. It's very important that they understand that they need to support looked after children to allow them to move into a life of young adulthood, into a positive and sustained destination beyond school. Because getting into a work-based placement, getting a good job or a college placement or a university placement, as we have heard today, will help in many ways to support them until they're at that age where they can become more truly independent.